So, like I was saying, I'd gotten down, looked into the tile, didn't see Summer. But I went across back over to the left, which is Candace's property, where the other side of the tile is. And that's if you're going out the road, not in. So, cross over, and I start into a spot that's kind of clear, and head towards the creek. Because I think, well, maybe brothers have left her behind, or she's fallen off the top of the hill, she's gotten hurt, or, the usual things, right? And we need to find her, if that's the case. Because in my head, I'm like, well, it's been a while since I've heard this scream, this noise. If she's hurt, she's been here a while. So, I'm wearing sandals, and I know the best thing I can do is get into the water. So, I step into the creek. Oh, because from there I can keep tracks down. Because when you live in areas like ours, worst case scenario. You also know what happens if somebody can't be found. And you know that staying in the water keeps scent down for dogs, if they have to be brought in. So, also, it's a good way to check, even though, but with your feet on what's in the bottom and deepest spots. So, and at the same time, I keep an eye on the bank going around Candace's, and to the top of the hill. Before I'd stepped into the creek, I could hear the boys go down the left side of their property towards the creek on that side that I had looked down towards earlier. And there was a point there when, I could tell that Candace and the boys had met up when they were hollering for Summer and circling the hill at the top. And Candace was like, to the oldest, was like, what did you do? What did you do? And not like an accused, it was more of a, like, did you not have eyes on your sister? Did you leave her behind? So, literally at this point, I thought, okay, then I was, like, it is that the boys were supposed to have an eye on her and didn't or something. And, so anyway, I'm stepping into the creek. I was, not too far in. Sorry, this one's trying to snatch the phone cord. And, why are there 6 in the house and they're always trying to snatch the phone cord? Hold on. I had to remind them that there's 6 others in here. So anyway, Lord, like I said, herd of elephants. So anyway, yeah, as I was looking, went a few feet, in to the water, but, 20 feet maybe from the road, I don't know, maybe less than that, I don't know. Wasn't too far in when I hear a car coming down Candace's driveway. And her talking to somebody, which I assume was somebody in the car with her. But as I hear her getting closer, I come back out of the creek and jump up. Out of, and then into the roadway. And she's in Grandis's vehicle. And, which, kind of confused me at first. Because I was like, well, it flashed red earlier, and I thought, well, that wouldn't have been the first vehicle in line. Grandis's was ahead of it, so that's why she's in Grandis's. And so, anyway, when she pulls up, she's on the phone with Donnie. But the first thing I said, guys, I wish I could explain to you. I wish there had been some way for me to take a picture or video that day. Donnie's on the phone with her, and I didn't even realize the time. It just didn't hit me. But the first thing I say to Candace is, I heard her scream, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And then I realized Donnie's on the phone. And Donnie says something like, so you're telling me somebody's taking my baby girl or something? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't know, I didn't put it together, enough time, right? It was like, because the first thing she says to me is, we're talking together, basically, which is, I'm saying I'm sorry, and she's like, Summer's missing. And I'm like, where's the last place you seen her? And I heard the scream, all this is happening, it's just a jumble, right? And her face is so, the tears that, y'all, as a mother, any mother, if you had seen her face, she was sincere. Now, Candace and I and Donnie, it wasn't like we were all like besties or anything like that. I just want to clarify that so nobody's like, we were neighbors. And in the area we live in, you kind of deal with your direct neighbor, right? You don't deal with all of them, you deal with your direct. And so, there would be conversations here and there. Candace and I kind of had similar issues throughout the years, because it took, I don't know, good 3 or 4 years or so of us being trapped where we were before we even really met them. We knew they were over there and lived there. But that's how kind of little contact everybody wants with one another where we live. Unless it's an emergency, a murder, or something like don't come on my heel type of situation, right? And, anyway. So, weren't besties or anything like that. Like, cup of sugar, does one of the kids need something? Hey, I forgot toilet paper today. Will you watch the kids for this? Or whatever that. Throughout the years, I watched them a few times, even our kids really didn't play together or anything through the years, but, we knew each other's kids. The boys went back and forth, the girls did not. If we had messages to send or internet wasn't working or power was out, it's the boys that would come back and forth. Hate to be double standard like that, but, up until right before all of this, my preteen hadn't even been allowed to walk to the mailbox because it's that far away from the house, we just, yeah. It's like the mailbox is the only point of vulnerability, really. And I just wasn't willing to do that. But it was mostly because of cars, not because I ever thought kidnapper or whatever. And, there are bears and this and the other, but my kids kind of know how to act. And, our feet from them most days. And so, it's not really a big deal for us. Wildlife's a thing. They know how to, traverse that world. Because, like I said, Ellie Mae, right? So they've been taught. It's never really been animals for me that I've worried about with them. Or even people. It's been that somebody coming around the curve because of the way the road's shaped right there, and then the way it tops right at our old mailbox. It's super dangerous. So, Anyway, but Candace and I had similar issues throughout the years and helped each other through um, those situations. If one of us, she needed a ride away, or I needed her to take pictures for me, or so there was things like that. And we kind of kept that to ourselves through the years for obviously good reason. But if one of the kids needed something, or was like cut or whatever, I mean, there was many times that she'd call and be like, "Hey, do you have?" And so either way,